You don't like running the... Okay, what about this? What about this? Hang on. Blood Moon, third Blood Moon in the side, main deck and dismember. Kakabutter says just main deck the dismember. Overmaster says Profaner was so sweet, but Sower is also so sweet. This is probably 75. Yeah. What about this? What about this? I mean, like, Tidebinder we didn't use tonight, by the way. Hang on, we never faced a deck that we got to use Tide... Well, no, we did. We beat him a different way, but we didn't get to use the Tidebinder mage tonight. Maybe it's finally time to let go of Tidebinder and go with something more universal, which technically is Profaner. Profaner's more universal than Tidebinder is. Tidebinder is specific. I know it locks down Tarmogoyf, which is cool, and we've used that many times, but we didn't play against a single Tarmogoyf tonight. We didn't play against a single Tarmogoyf tonight. The Profaner was huge. Let us win a game against the Death and Taxes player. Let me show you. I know we didn't win the whole match against Death and Taxes, but let's look at that match real quick. I know we didn't win the full... that was our first loss, was Death and Taxes. Okay, so I know we didn't... No, we lost both. What? No, it was this guy. Here we go. Yeah. Our first win did come from that particular card against the Death and Taxes player, but we did lose games 2 and 3. Eldrazi are just better Goyfs. Goyf is finally bad in Modern, says Penguin. Alright, so we crack in response to the Arbiter. We do make a mistake, and a really painful one in about 2 seconds. I'm going to let you know ahead of time. It feels really painful. And albeit, it was already really late for me. If we make a huge mistake this next turn. Ready, set... No, not yet. Or was that not this game? Okay, Flicker Wisps, my Vial. We're like, okay. We talked about Azami. We tested it. No, we didn't just talk about Azami. We tested Azami Poison Daggers. Yep, it was right there. That was so painful. We didn't lose the match because of it, but it felt terrible. How much is it worth? What is? Oh, Pokemon Yellow? Yeah. Overmaster says Echoing Truth won't get the entire board. What about Slumgar Sorcerer? We actually tested it in a league. We tested a 1 of Sorcerer. The problem with Sorcerer is it only answers creatures. Other than that, I have good things to say. I'm really surprised you didn't just go Delver Snap Jace. Spells route instead went with all creatures. Yeah, I mean, like, what's funny is Merfolk's actually well positioned against Eldrazi. Not that that's one of the reasons why we decided... Okay, we counter with a Mutavault here. With the Prodigy, the Thalia. Which I'm not sure if that was even right. And then, yeah, he goes quarters. We actually win this game on 1 land, right? Or something close to it. We just put in the Harbinger because we're like, well, if we draw Master, we'll want more threats in play. We hit Venser, and things like start looking really bad for us, right? It looks like we're going to lose because he's drawing multiple cards off Dark Confidant. But Dark Confidant's actually... What you're going to see here is actually that Dark Confidant is what wins the match for us. You'll see. Hermit Druid. If only. So he flickers the Aether Vial on 3, and it feels really painful. Because we're just trying to get up there on those vials. No. We Spellskite it. Never mind. Yeah, he bounces the Spellskite instead. That was just a 1 of Miser's Spellskite for today's stream. We go up to 4. And now we have access to Sower. We have access to Venser. I think we Vensered, though. We can't crack the Scalding Tarn yet, obviously, because of Arbiter. Overmaster says, we lost the match! He paths, we Venser in response, bouncing the Spellskite, thus fizzling the path. We take another 3 in the air, we go to 7. We Vial in Spellskite in the end step. We can't use Void Mage Prodigy, we only have 1 blue source. And we know I can't fetch the Scalding Tarn, there is an Arbiter in play. Or I could, but it'd be really bad. We play Other Vial, I'm like, oh god, we lost. Because I feel like I needed to leave up the Spellskite redirection mana, but I just played a Vial, which felt really dumb. We didn't need another Vial yet. The deck functions fine on 2 Vials. Functions on 1 Vial, it functions great on 2. So we Vial in the Sower to steal the Flicker Wisp, he puts in the Displacer, he tries to displace, we pay Phyrexian instead of blue mana to move the Displacer effect to the Spellskite. We take the Flicker, we block the Flicker on the other Flicker. At this point, we're like, oh jeez, this is so close. He plays Thalia, we say go. Or he says go. We tick up the Vial to 1, we tick up the Vial on 2 to 3, or do we leave it on 2? No, we leave it on 2. Steam Vents, get in, and this time we're like, okay, do we need the counter or more? We play, we shock, he dies to the Dark Confidant here. And we win. I'm not sure about Bob in the metagame. Like the one time we saw Bob tonight, or one of the few times we saw Bob tonight, yeah. Anyway. Okay. And Joe, that's definitely a way you could build this deck too. If you wanted to go spell heavy and run snaps and everything, go for it. One of the original reasons we decided to go creature heavy, not to be sort of like a pseudo merfolk. No, that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was there were a lot of people main decking at the time. Some of the earlier Eldrazi builds, not anymore, but some of the earliest Eldrazi were main decking like a playset of Relic of Progenitus. There's still some modern decks that main deck a playset of Relic of Progenitus. Bob's so good on locked board states, this Fujin. Yeah, like we were concerned with the first build being like a Jace Snapcaster build. We actually did a Snapcaster Jace build as the first build of this deck, Joe, just to be fair. The Relic of Progenitus just being in so many people's main deck, main 75 or main 60, with the influx of the earlier Eldrazi's, the previous versions, the earliest versions of the deck, conceived deck, were running like, you know, Scrabblers and Relics. You know, there's a lot of Tron being played. That's a lot more main deck Relics. So we were trying to stay away from Snap because at that moment, that first couple weeks of Eldrazi being released, there was a multitude of Relics being played main deck. And that was one of the reasons why early on we said, okay, let's try to just go creature heavy and not go so much into the spells and Snapcaster region. It's not a card availability thing. I have Snapcasters. You know that, you know? A lot of people ask, why not run this? Why not run that? You know, with the sponsorship, thank you again, Card Hoarder, and you guys supporting the stream too now, it's no longer going to be this card's too expensive, we're not going to play it on this stream, period. It's going to be, is this card good right now, actually, is the new question I'm begging you guys. We did test a Singleton Azami. Yes, we did, Mini Leets. We tested a Singleton Azami for a good 2 weeks. It was really cool. We were drawing like 3 cards immediately, because you usually have about 3 wizards in play when you get her into play. The problem with Azami is everything else. She's a 0/2, she's 5 mana, so she was breaking the curvature of the deck, when slamming a master was just way better to kill people, or slamming Glenn to just lock out all their spells was better. But we have tested that, yeah. I think it's time for second Sower. If the format's just mono creatures, or if the spell decks are all Breach style, Sower is just ridiculous. We've stolen Emrakul. We've stolen World Spineworm? World Spineworm? Somebody tried to throw a World Spineworm against us the other day, and we stole the World Spineworm. So when people are running this, hang on, Breach, like Breach Titan decks. They're Breach Titan decks. Like, the fact that Breach is really popular right now is like one of the combo archetypes against the Eldrazi. At least on Moto, I'm sure that's not the case in paper, but we've seen Breach a bunch. And Breach, like, Sower's hilarious against Breach. Yes, it's World Spineworm. Nuclear Warrior says, what's the name of the 3/4 tap, draw 3? Penguin likes stealing Emrakul. Oh, Penguin, we have new emotes. Brew Toast. We're toast! That reminds me. Penguin, try it. Type in capital B and capital T, Brew Toast. We have some new emotes for the new channel. Anyway, but yeah, when people are trying to breach, I feel like this, although this is meant for the creature matchups, when the combo decks are also creature-based, this is stupid good. Let's buy second Sower and call it a deck and jam another game. I either want to cut the Tidebinder or the Profaner. We didn't use Tidebinder tonight, we only used Profaner. But then again, Profaner in our deck, if we're not going to run higher toughness creatures outside of Spellskite, it's not going to bounce their board as often. I can dig it. We're toast! So if we're losing a game, Penguin, or you think we're going to be toasted, you got to say we're toast. We're toast! Okay, so let's either cut the... Or the Sower could be in the sideboard. And we could still test the Profaner in the main. It's so good against token strats and the smaller creature decks of the format. The little itty-bitties. But most of the creatures are the bigs. Show Penguin and the Monstrosity? Oh god. Alright, hang on. Can I link this deck first before we show off the other deck? Hang on. I'm not sure about Profaner in the 75, but let me screenshot this 75 for people wanting to play the deck or get into the deck or who want to proxy the deck. This is for you. This screenshot is for you guys. I think we're going to start main decking the Dismember. I think we're going to start main boarding that. Okay, so Overmaster. This is the deck that Overmaster and I brewed the other day. It's definitely both of our deck. I did not brew it solo. He did not brew it solo. We brewed it together. I would almost say more Overmaster than me now, because you spent a lot of time offline with it, Overmaster. I would say it's not necessarily even 50-50 brew. I would say this is almost more his deck now, because he spent a lot of time goldfishing it and testing new things. Was it Teysa and the Aristocats? Yes. Yeah. So this was the latest version. We're both still not sure about it. For example, he doesn't run the Stalactite kill, but I do. So there's still little differences. For example, he doesn't run Crozen Grip. I'm not even sure about the Crozen. But other than that, our decks are similar. Let me sort this. So you can't really curve decks like this, so let me put everything into the piles that they're utilized for. This is the Steel Shaper gift package. This is the creature package. This is the legendary creature package, which is an extension of these cards. These are, of course, creatures. Painter Servant is just a hate bear against Eldrazi. Oops, this is actually here. It's a very good hate bear, if you ask me, against the Eldrazi. It also has some applications in the Tron matchup. It turns off their cantrip. One biologist says I came up with the Scorn. Blue-red Wizard Lock. It's a good Dexplation. Oh, it's called Dumbledore's Army, actually. Overmaster says just jam some more games with Wizards. Okay, I'll link this in chat then. We'll jam some more games with Wizards while we're still fresh in the mind. It's actually 4 in the morning for me, though, so I don't know how fresh my mind is. If I can do another league and still go positive EV like we did just now. I don't know if I can go positive. Yeah, this is a spicy meatball. It goes infinite in a couple different ways. There's Teysa to go infinite. There's Stalactite to go infinite with. And there's also... those are the 2 ways you go infinite in the main. You can also just make a kitty army. The deck efficiently utilizes Kemba. If you slap like as many as 3 or 4 equipment on Kemba, you, in a couple turns, have an army. But the things that go infinite are Teysa and Stalactite. These are the 2 things that go infinite. This is infinite damage. This can be infinite damage. This can also result with an Eiley and infinite life. This can also result in infinite exile your opponent's creatures. So Teysa can go infinite in multiple ways. This only goes infinite in damage, but it's at least fully contained in the Steel Shaper's gift package. Cloudrock says we'll just learn from my mistakes. That's a lot of support, guys. You wanted to watch the show even though I'm tired and will probably punt some more. That really means a lot to me that you guys still want to watch the show even if I make some mistakes. That means a lot to me. Also, guys, Overmaster and I have been looking into a different piece of equipment besides Basilisk Collar and Godsend to use against the Eldrazi. How do you have a Stalactite kill, says Jubers? So you need either a Pure Steel or a Steel Shaper. If you're going off with Steel Shaper, you need more pieces than you need with Pure Steel, so let's just talk about the Pure Steel. Pure Steel plus Mortar Pod plus Collar plus Stalactite. Yeah, that's the infinite loop. You can also kill with Steel Shaper, but you need some more pieces. You need, in addition to these pieces, you need Lightning Greaves, and you also need Paradise Mantle. But the deck is designed to naturally have these 2 pieces. A lot of games, actually, like, especially against a removal heavy deck, you won't win unless you have Greaves. Greaves plus Shikari is one of the favorable interactions the deck has. Fujin Sensei says Trihedron. Overmaster says run 2 Steel Shapers. We could. Dorothea says too many pieces. Yeah, that's why I'm saying the Pure Steels are better. The Pure Steels are better because it's fewer pieces, period. Sebastian Ski Joe! Thanks for the Fatherino! Yeah, I mean, like, I agree, Overmaster. I think that this kill is easier. Or just the Teysa loops. The Teysa loop is easier. All you need is a Painter and a Teysa. And all of a sudden you can exile other creatures. Because the deck should naturally have 3 other whites. 3 other white creatures. That's how it's been designed. So that's nice. And then the 2 Mortar Pod, 2 Greaves. Play set of Mantles. So this is an infinite. This is right here already. As long as you have, 3 other whites, which the deck is designed to do. Infinite, exile all their creatures. You can also have a second painter. Second painter on white makes it even easier. More creatures to exile.